At your tables today, you are going to be painting the background. So make sure you get your name on the back of this paper in pencil. I'm going to flip my paper over, and with the white oil crayon, I'm going to create some lines that show movement. I know you can't see that very well or at all, but lines that show movement might swirl. They might be dotted. They might be different directions of swirls and wavy lines that turn into dotted lines. What's going to happen is we are going to see these in just a minute when we paint our paper. So go ahead and add, I don't know, maybe around 10 different types of lines to show movement. Then we are going to be using liquid watercolors. I'm going to give these a little gentle stir with my brush. And I am going to bring this very wet paint right on my paper. And when I brush over my lines, they will appear. There should be some different values of blue. So there's a much darker blue. So you could have some value change in your sky, going from light to dark. There's a cup that will be a lot of water if you want to just kind of mix your paints. There might even be a bluish purple that you can use to add different values. I am trying to fill my whole paper up and being careful not to rub back and forth in the same spot over and over, because that will definitely rip a hole in our thin paper. When you have most of the background filled with a blue color, I am going to also have you try adding salt onto your paper. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting a little area really wet. There's a little actual puddle of water. There is a container of salt at your table. And if you sprinkle that salt on a very wet area, you are going to see the salt start to dissolve, disintegrate, disappear. If you even want to add a little bit of paint on top of those spots, you can. I'm not going overboard and crazy. You can even see that it's starting to add kind of a value where the salt has slid down. If you try to add salt to a very dry area, nothing is going to happen. It's just going to fall off. So experiment with getting a little bit of liquid color or water onto your paper and just adding a pinch of salt sprinkled. When it dries, you're really going to see some awesome effects in that background. This part is step 1 of your project. Step 2 of this project is going to happen at the back counter. You're going to get a paper with your name on it. I am going to just have that off to the side. At that back counter, you're going to find some leaves. There might be real leaves, but most of the leaves are going to be these rubber printing plates. So it's not a plate you'd eat off of. That's just what we call something we're going to stamp or print with. Be careful with these. We don't want to bend them because they will crack. You're going to see a couple of different color choices at the back counter. So I'm using the brush that's by this color, and I am painting gently all over this leaf. You do not need big gobs of paint. I'll show you what happens if you gob on the paint. So I'm just kind of putting a lot on this one area to show you it's not going to be the best print. With the second color, I'm going to just gently, I call it a tickle the paint on my leaf. I'm not mixing crazy. I want to see those different colors. I am not picking that leaf up. It's staying right there. With my paper, my name is on the top so I can see it. I am going to start by printing this leaf, and I'm going to start on the kind of corner of this paper. So right now I am just pushing, and I'm going to rub to feel that entire leaf shape. You can actually see the texture and the veins of the leaf on the back of this paper. I'm going to pick it up carefully, and I have a really nice print. See that spot where I put too much paint on? It's gobby, and you can't even see a lot of the texture of the leaf. Today at that back counter, you are going to move to 4 or 5 stations. So I'd encourage you to try 4 or 5 different colors of leaves. So I'm going to just do one more for this video so you can kind of see what a different color might look like. Again, not a lot of paint. There's no gobs. I'm going to use that second color just gently on the top to get some leaf changing colors. Really reminds us of fall or autumn. All right, again, I don't have to pick up that leaf. My fingers would get filthy. But I need to get this leaf in a spot not on top of my first one. So I can see that it's pretty wet. I'm going to slide this over. It's okay if the leaves are going different directions. I'm just trying to spread them out and get 4 or 5 on this paper. Very cool. Once you have 4 or 5 leaves, this is going to go into the drying rack. Step 3 of this project is taking your dried leaf prints and cutting them out. What I would suggest is cutting them out just kind of around the outer border, kind of like I did with this one. Once you have kind of an outline of the leaf cut out, then it's easier to go back in and get as close as possible to the edge as you can. If you can see a little bit of white left, that's okay. The cutting of these leaves really takes time. I am using both hands. My hand that's not cutting is really helping me turn the paper so that I am not moving this cutting hand back and forth, back and forth. All right, I went ahead and cut out the other leaves before the video. Now the fun begins. You can kind of arrange these leaves in a composition, that's just where you're going to put them, that you like. I think it would look really funny if they were all just in one corner of the paper. I'm spreading them out, kind of turning them so it looks like they're blowing in the wind. The last step is to glue on the back of each leaf. Just a little bit of glue all around. These will go in that machine to flatten out, so if there's some edges popping up, that's okay. Sometimes what I see third graders do at this point is just start squirting the glue everywhere, and they put their leaf on, and then there's so much extra glue. We always glue on the back of the shape we cut out. When you're done with this step, everything is going in the drying rack, and you can recycle all those little scraps you have left.